Your brain absorbed programming and it's still running your life. You deserve a break today, so get up and get away, to McDonald's. Actually, you can't really get away from McDonald's, they're everywhere. If you'll notice, everywhere there's a buildup of traffic in any city, be it a tourist zone or a prominent shopping area or the food court. There they are. Every time you want a break, what do? You eat. I'm having a break today, and yes, I gave myself a treat. We used to have treats on Sunday morning. A glass of cola and a piece of cake. Mom used to bake chocolate chip cookies because she loved us. Maybe she just wanted some chocolate chip cookies, so she made a batch. But the advertisers are saying Mom bakes because she loves you, so she must, right? My mother did her utmost to feed us properly, and she did a good job, but Ronald McDonald and the Dairy Queen had their way with her kids long after she stopped influencing them. It's been observed in many overeaters that in order to switch gears, like from afternoon to evening, eating is necessary. As a child, I sat down to dinner with the family every night at 6 p.m. and then afternoon became evening. What was me and my brother coming home from school became the entire family watching TV shows in the evening, or my parents reading books and relaxing, except for the one whose turn it was to wash the dishes. To mark this switch, now many overeaters have to have a meal. It becomes habitual, and I think that habits are unconscious. When there's something you would choose to do anyway, there's no harm in it, but if there's something that you're doing out of some unknown need to do it, then you're not living consciously. Here's another telling you to take a break and eat. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. The TV programmed your eating habits, and some people don't have issues with it, but I do. I watched TV as a kid and basically stopped when I was in my 20s. I didn't even own a TV in my first apartment. I got one later on and watched it occasionally, but struggled with it. Now I don't own one. And I have ad block on my laptop, so I don't have to put up with being programmed when I watch videos. Obviously, I'm a sucker for suggestion, and by the looks of many other people I see around, so are they. Breakfast of champions. Make sure you eat a wholesome breakfast. I have yet to have bad food when I eat breakfast. I make sure my breakfast is a good meal. I like to bake my own breads, and this is often what I eat for breakfast. Bet you can't eat just one. Remember that Lay's potato chip commercial? After making a potato frying in a fryer sound like you're having an orgasm, they hit you with the tagline, "No one can eat just one." Fortunately, with these poisonous potatoes, I don't eat any. But that's still programming that's hit your brainwaves, and for me that works for any treats. I can't eat just one. I don't think that this programming is even brand specific. What you adopt as a view of one type of potato chip will go across the board to all brands unless you really can't stand the brand. Same as fast food, or at least particular types of fast food like hamburgers. What I believe is that if there's any imbalance in your life at all, you'll substitute by relying on this programming. What I mean by imbalance is that if anything is missing, in my case, my man is missing, and I know I substitute food for love. Sometimes, though, the imbalances are caused by your quest for satisfaction in life through food, and life remains unlived. Who knows what potential you've ignored within yourself because of your relationship with the Burger King? Here's one: obey your thirst. What the hell does that even mean? Obey my thirst. Fortunately, I drink water. If that doesn't tell you to make your cravings, your hunger, and your thirst the dominator in your life, if that doesn't take you out of control, I don't know what would. It's finger-lickin' good. How many of us would like to have finger-lickin' good food right now? I could go for a finger-lickin' good meal. Somehow granola, broccoli soup, or boiled eggs just doesn't fit the bill, does it? What you're doing as you go for the foods that this programming draws you to is you're expressing emotions. Just you're not expressing your emotions realistically, you're eating them. You're saying, I want to have a fantastic day today. I want to be gloriously happy. So when that doesn't happen, maybe finger-lickin' chicken or something you can lose yourself in like a bag of potato chips fills the bill when life doesn't. I can tell you I have at least two categories. One is soft foods like cheesecake, and they mean I'm missing Ivo. The other is crunchy things like chips and popcorn, and that means I'm pissed off about something I don't want to deal with. Having said that, I haven't eaten chips in a long time. I eat popcorn occasionally now. I have managed to lose 40 pounds in the last 2 years despite this programming, and this could be attributable to the few months I did keto, and also the fact that I can't eat a lot of these foods anymore because they don't agree with me. Some make me physically sick or tired. Let's face it, these advertising slogans have made food sound larger than life, haven't they? Subway's a bit better. They prompt you to eat fresh. I don't know what part of cold cuts and what they call roast beef is fresh, but I like the idea anyway. McDonald's again, I'm loving it. Again, this sounds like sex. It's a gross burger with way over salted French fries and a huge pail of pop you shouldn't be drinking in the first place. It's gross. Did you know that soda/soda pop, or what I call pop, is full of antifreeze? Ever seen pop freeze? I haven't. The last time I ate McDonald's I spent the next day in bed. That's when I started to realize I had a fatigue problem, and somehow it was related to bad food. Wendy's came out with, "Where's the beef?" where the older women checked to find small beef inside of big buns. This was hilarious, but the message was still there. It was truly a double entendre filled with innuendo. It drew the relationship between food and sex for us again. Skittles, taste the rainbow. I've never even tried Skittles, but I like rainbows. I've never made a point of eating them. But you see the association. Same as Lucky Charms. Four-leaf clovers, rainbow, happy happy happy. Oh, can't see a rainbow today? Well, just go and buy a bag of our junk food. Here's an old cigarette slogan for Camel cigarettes: I'd walk a mile for a camel. I'd say get a real camel and let it do the walking, but you're pretty addicted if you have to walk a mile for a smoke. This says, you're a junkie, like nothing else I've come across yet. Bisto gravy, ah. Bisto. Ah. Even Mick Jagger would get some satisfaction eating Bisto gravy apparently. Actually, I thank God I have a gluten intolerance. I had to give up a lot of these things because of the wheat, and that includes gravy. The US Army, be all you can be. Boy, that sounds more manly than the best a man can get. They even beat out Gillette razors. How could anyone turn down an invitation like this? Apparently Coke is the real thing. Yes, and aren't we looking for the real thing when we are searching for love? This is part of the sex and love sales programming. In how many areas of life are we looking for the real thing and fail? So drink up, folks. That's what this is telling you to do. It's like they're associating their product with true human desires and then realizing you'll probably never get the real thing anyway. They figure you'll suck up their poison as a substitute. Here's another chip, Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. I've never liked those things. Look at the slogan, once you pop. Sounds like an orgasm to me, and then you can't stop. This is an association with being multi-orgasmic. Rice Krispies, snap. Crackle. Pop. You're thinking, she can't find anything wrong with that, can she? Yes, I can. Compare Snap, Crackle and Pop with a bowl of healthier options and you'll see how Rice Krispies gives your life so much more gusto. Hey. Add some Bisto gravy on top of them and you'll have a bowl of overwhelming satisfaction. Burger King, have it your way. Well, okay, now we're talking. But are you going to have it your way at BK? No. Why? It's where the king lives, not you. Do you see the correlation? You're not the king, you're the peon. You always have been. They're just trying to trick you into thinking that you can feel like royalty for a moment if you eat their burgers. Another one with skinny salty fries. Absolutely gross. Really? How can broccoli and cauliflower compete with this? Maxwell House, good to the last drop. Really? Have you ever tasted that shit? I can't stand it. I'd drink a Dutch coffee over that swill any day. But it's telling you, it's good. When life sucks, drink our coffee. Snickers, you're not you when you're hungry. So grab a Snickers bar, folks. No, just go to the fridge and make a healthy sandwich in a bowl of broccoli soup. I like LG, life's good. Yes, but only when you buy our products. I don't think I own any. I actually agree with this one, Levi's, quality never goes out of style. I believe that to be true. There are classic things that stick with us regardless. Kodak, share moments, share life. Sure, we do this through pictures. That's fine. I agree with that. Starbucks, coffee that inspires. Yes, it inspires my ulcer. I can't drink that stuff. The few times I have had it, I had one large cup and I wouldn't sleep for days. By the way, when I went into Starbucks, I refused to call the drinks by their pretentious sizes. I ordered small, medium, large, and extra large. Tic-tac, it's not just a mint. No, it too substitutes for an experience you really want to have that can probably never be provided. You're being played. Kraft Foods, a little taste of heaven. Okay, that makes me want to puke, especially since I've purged my cupboards of everything but one thing they sell, their barbecue sauce, and I probably won't even eat that. Valio, making you feel good. I don't know what Valio is, but they just cut to the chase. They add sugar, fat and all sorts of chemicals so you can get buzzed right out of your mind on it, and yes, you feel good but you end up sick in your later years. You need to lose the programming. Argue with it. See the truth behind the seductive lie they're selling you. Become a conscious eater. Seal test dairy, out of this world. Well, yeah, I wish I was. But I also have a casein sensitivity as well, so bye-bye seal test. Brahms, from our family to yours. Ah. Isn't that special? I remember when they tried to pull the "we're all family" shtick on me when I worked in an oil factory. I didn't buy it then and I don't buy it now. They are creating an emotional reaction within you of pleasure, sometimes promising orgasmic pleasure and then associating it with their product. The fact that these foods contain addictive substances like sugar really just seals the deal. What they create is a chemical imbalance in your brain because your dopamine and serotonin receptors will take sugar as a substitute. However, your brain will dial back the amount of serotonin it creates as a means of compensating for the sugar you're ingesting. This is also a great way to get an endocrine system imbalance as your pancreas produces too much insulin. The newer thinkers say that dopamine and serotonin are produced in the gut, not the brain, and because of the sugar you're ingesting you're allowing gut imbalances to occur, SIBO, stomach intestinal bacteria overgrowth, which I have. After 4 months of chronic gut pain, I finally happened upon a video stating I should take garlic pills because garlic is an antibacterial and finally found some relief. I don't care who makes serotonin, the fact is sugar can mimic the same effect it has in your brain. None of us grow up being medical students. All of us have grown up trusting the establishment. But there is one thing that should have tipped us off, the manipulation they have used to con us into using their products. And it is a con. They have to associate goodness with their products. Why? Because save for very few of them, they're not good for you. Then the diet industry grew. It grew and added more information to people already confused about the association they've made with food to other parts of their lives that food shouldn't be associated with. I remember my boss in the oil factory long ago. I told him about something I ate and his response was, "You ate it because you were hungry." This man was normal weight and always was. He didn't eat any of the stuff that passes for food now, at least not very much of it. I was totally different. I sought my answers to life in what I ate. I believed that food held the meaning of life in it. Why? Because that's what advertisers told me. And the fact that food made me feel better helped to complete the lie. It took guts to leave the oil factory and venture out into the world, but I did. The first thing that happened is my weight dropped. Why? Because I wasn't plugging food in for experience. I was experiencing life. Big red, long-lasting fresh breath. Yes, this is the one that expounds on the fact that many people have complexes about smelling funny. They do. Go into the commuter trains at 8 a.m. and you'll smell freshly washed coiffed perfumed people who believe they have to change their odor. TBH, if we didn't have toxic bodies we wouldn't need deodorant either. Deodorant works to stifle the smell that our lymphatic system produces. If it were clear, we wouldn't smell. I like Texas Roadhouse, legendary food. Legendary service. They stated outright, there's nothing covered like an association with sex or some other emotional pleasure implied in what they're saying. This is just an assertive statement saying their food and service are good. I believe the way to sever the emotional eating connection is to look at your programming. It will last all your life, don't poo-poo it by saying what you saw as a kid makes no difference now. It not only does, but you've reinforced it all your life by giving into it. Daryl Lee, creating sweet magic. Wonder if he got together with Sarah Lee? If that doesn't say love and orgasm, what does? These slogans hit on any number of things. What's missing from your life? Fun, happiness, pleasure, sex, love. Telling you that if you don't buy their product you'll be a schmo, hammering on your low self-esteem. This is prominent in beauty products as well. Telling you that when you buy their product you'll be better than everyone else, they make you feel deserving and validate you. It's a place to get the break you feel you finally deserve. Kinder chocolate, invented by kids. Approved by moms. Mom says it's okay. I don't have a problem with this chocolate and I never did because I didn't care what my mother approved of, so this wouldn't work on me. Even though the name is German and my family is Dutch, still a no-go for me. My favorite bars were either Hershey's or Twix. I beat my chocolate habit by doing one thing: taking magnesium pills. Chocolate is full of magnesium and you may be eating it because you have a shortage. Start taking a good plant-based multivitamin with minerals and an amino acid array doesn't hurt either. Also, I believe I created a shortage in dopamine and serotonin by 1. Taking antidepressants for several years, and 2. Not taking amino acids. I didn't realize my fast food burger habit was an attempt to keep the necessary amino acids in supply until I gave them up. Advertising is highly manipulative and it plays on your insecurities, your fears, your desires, and more. Allowing yourself to be manipulated through advertising can add pounds to your body and can sink your self-esteem into the dumper. Learn how to refute their claims. Become a skeptic. Is Wendy's the best chili? Is this really the best hamburger going? Does McDonald's make me think of sex when I eat it? Makes me think of grease and salt actually. Understand that addictive eaters tend to become mindless while they're shopping for their fix and during the consumption of it. To help beat the habit, really taste your food. Sit there and ask yourself what you really think it tastes like while you're eating it, and the best solution of all: turn off the TV. The reason this all works the way it does is because they're trying to make passive sheep of all of us. They're trying to get us to respond to their cues, and yes, these ads are trying to trigger you into eating their junk food. Everyone is amazed at how many people aren't awake right now. Well, this could be part of the reason why. They want us to respond to their cues, not to life. When you're too busy trying to fight your next craving, who's got time to deal with bigger things in life? And right now the bigger things are in front of us all for all to see. Do you think it's a coincidence that there are impossible standards of female beauty as well as a multitude of unhealthy, fattening foods for us to consume, all happening at the same time? I don't. That's no coincidence to me at all. It's social engineering, and it's engineered to keep you feeling badly about yourself and stressed out, in other words to keep your vibe down, like everything else is. Walk away. Leave the matrix. Food is part of the conspiracy to kill you. How many people might have survived the last 2 years if they'd have been healthy? What's the number one thing that wrecks your health? What you consume. What you eat and drink. Don't think they don't know that. They do. Advertisers are simply complicit in this social engineering. They're trying to sell without actually realizing what harm they're doing. We've become co-conspirators in our own demise, folks. I want to suggest something to you. What if the advertising industry, and especially advertising in the food industry, is just one facet of the MKUltra mind control programming? Wikipedia says that MKUltra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects' mental states and brain functions, such as the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, and other chemicals, electroshocks, 5 hypnosis, 6-7 sensory deprivation, isolation, and verbal and sexual abuse, in addition to other forms of torture. Okay, so this is a bit less in severity, but it's still highly manipulative and controlling, isn't it? It does utilize sexual implications, not overt abuse, but there is that association there. Instead of sensory deprivation, the advertising industry uses sensory overload to entice you to buy. When you eat the food, your brain functioning changes, especially when you continue to indulge by virtue of the fact you're eating high amounts of sugar and other chemicals in this food. When it comes down to it, they're just lying. That's all. It's a lie. There's always an association that their food is good for you, and I can tell you from experience, it's not. It makes you sick when you continue to ingest it. Then there's the beer commercials. I don't drink anymore, but there's the king of beers. A whole lot can happen out of the blue. Base. Reach for greatness, Busch Beer. Head for the mountains, for all you do, this bud's for you. These are entirely directed at men. Entirely. King of beers, not queen of beers. For all you do. You so deserve it, you man you. Beer suggests excitement, adventure, being great, fun-loving, patriotism. I am Canadian. This Canadian, so what? It doesn't get any better than this. Seriously. For those of us who can't stand schmooze, this stuff reeks of it. Children are very susceptible to these messages, and like I said, for those people who found life unfulfilling, they may have embarked on the journey of finding fulfillment through food or booze. It's not there. The road to fulfillment is paved with changing your life individually and this world collectively. Look at the foods you tend to overeat. I like ice cream, cheesecake, and crunchy foods like popcorn. Sometimes cookies. The occasional chocolate bar. What did these advertisers tell you that your favorite chocolate bar would give you, and are you still trying to achieve it through unconscious eating? What was my favorite? Twix and Hershey's. The most advertised is Mars bar though. A Mars bar a day at work, rest or play. I can still remember the jingle as if I were still sitting in front of the TV listening to it. It's telling you you can have this chocolate bar anytime and it fills a need. It's a good accompaniment to what you're doing, and you don't have to stop to have a meal, just quickly eat one of these and keep going. Have you used chocolate bars that way? Popped one into your cart while grocery shopping? At work and didn't want to stop, so you hit the candy bar machine and ate it? Have you ever seen a chocolate bar that's past its expiry date? I have, and it has moving parts. LOL, I'm serious. What advertising jingles stick out in your mind? What about pizza? Anything there? Bread? Baked goods? Cereals? Candies? Cakes? Soda pop? What memories do you have around this stuff? I remember my grandmother sending a Christmas box of chocolates and Dutch treats in December. When the chocolate letters came out, I was glad my real name started with M. I used to laugh because my siblings had skinnier letters. There's so much you can do to make eating patterns conscious instead of responding to them like a Stepford wife. You don't have to be a food zombie any longer. Just understand what these things mean to you, because you learned that they meant something, and argue with this. Look at the reality of your eating sugar, Red Path sugar, fire up your summer. Sweeten your summer occasions. Crafting sugar since 1854. By the way, Red Path, sugar doesn't need crafting, it's a whole food. Look at the lies they're telling you, folks. You're not only swallowing food, you're losing your experiences and you're swallowing their lies. Become a conscious eater. Sharon.